What's your first name?
Linda.
Linda. Month and day?
March 23rd.
323. Okay. Who do you want to hear from?
My dad.
Dad. The first thing he said, and he sort of threw his head back while he said this, almost like he was reading story time to me. Referring to you, he said, she could make me laugh like no one else. So I feel like you always knew what to say to your dad to pick his spirits up, and you made it a sport of making him happy. And he's so grateful. He said, thank you for always doing that. He called you when you were little, he was referencing you as being his shadow. And so he called you his shadow. Now he's your shadow. Okay, and he just wanted you to know where you go, he goes. So don't worry about losing him if you move. And he's referencing a move around you. So I don't know if that's something you've thought about, but he's showing you not staying where you're at. Little information that came through there. He said, I taught her everything she knows. He seemed kind of proud of that. So you're daddy's girl. That's just how he's showing you. And he loves you. And he says, of course he was going to come through. You know, you knew he would. Actually, I've seen a little spotlight on you the whole time you've been here, so I knew I was going to pick you. And for the mom in the denim that I read, one thing your son did say that I just wanted to be clear on, and I think I'm here from a lot of people here, but he said to me, I'm here for him. He said, you're here for me. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. We knew he would come through.
Okay,
That was our son.
well, there you go. Okay. I asked him how he felt around the time he passed. Your dad was not a complainer. If there was something wrong with him physically, he would keep it inside rather than worry people. He didn't like to worry you, but I feel like he wasn't feeling great for a while. So he's showing he kept it inside. I feel like he lived through a lot of hard times in his life, and he just thought that was going to be one more. But if he wasn't going to be here long, he at least wanted to be treated like a person and not be treated like a patient or something else. So he says, you understand. So he's validating that with you, okay? Because he said he was not himself when he was dying, and he didn't like that. He showed himself feeling kind of trapped. I feel trapped in my body and in my mind, and it's hard for me to communicate how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. He did not like that. He'd much rather go. And then he laughed and he kind of stepped to the side like he was out of that body. And he said, it's all about family and food. And he was in this really good place. And then he said, oh, he doesn't care about a funeral. It's all about the wake, like the memorial, how you celebrate. It's about the food. It's about the people. That's what he cares about and the stories that are shared. You know that. He says funerals are depressing. He doesn't like them. Okay. To know. We need those. Those are for us, the funeral. I feel like your dad could talk really fast when he wanted to, when he'd get excited and there were people around. And I feel like I want to be in a house where there's a lot of noise and a lot of family and a lot of food being made and a dog jumping up on me. And I just feel like I like the chaos. And that's his heaven. So he's letting you know that's his heaven. I feel like he must have had a large family. He's showing there being a lot of them. And so he's not lonely. He's like, don't worry about me. He's worried about you. You've got to be here. He's like, what a mess. So he says you'll be fine. It's all going to be fine. With you, he's showing you're actually healthier than you think. And to not worry about anything like that, because it feels like there will be a small scare, health scare, and it'll be something that's just removed simply. So I feel like there's going to be a cyst or something, just something small. He's just giving him a heads up because it's not going to lead to death. It's not going to be anything like that, okay? He says when he was younger, he was quite the ladies' man as he saw himself. And so where he's at, he's showing himself very trim in body, with sort of a tight t-shirt on. And I just feel like I'm hanging out with the guys and they like to fix their car. And so he's just showing a guy with the hood popped, like with his head under the car. He said he actually knew quite a few people who were quite mechanical. So this feels like a lot of the people that he would have been around. So I don't know if those are actually just like mechanics or mechanical people or like engineers. But he's showing people that he knew were really good with their hands. And he tried to teach you that as well, how to be good with
Yes,
your hands.
yes.
He'd rather fix it himself than pay somebody.
We worked on projects together.
I love it. He says, there's nothing you need to do for me. He wants you to know there's nothing you need to do for him. He's already so incredibly proud of you. There's nothing you need to do for him. You are his legacy. And he wants you to know that.
Allison, can you thank him for allowing me to be there when he drew his last breath?
He says he wouldn't want you anywhere else. So you were meant to be there. He was glad you were there. He knew that you were there. He's picking an orange off a tree. I don't know. He seems to like oranges. He says you'll always be his baby and he'll always be a young man. And for you to think of him that way, said he had a good head of hair. And he's going like that. And he said he was a good time. He had great jokes and made friends easily. And he says got a few of them with him now. And he just enjoys kind of hanging out with them. So don't worry about him anymore. Move forward. He'll move forward with you. He loves you. I'm going to break my connection with him and send it with you, okay?